So let me tell you guys a little secret. This is Toke Makinwa's favorite. Shh. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Bella and this is Bella's Perfume Diaries. If this is your first time stumbling on this channel, Perfume Diaries is a series where we'll talk about perfumes, a sprinkle of beauty and lifestyle. So if this is the kind of content you like, please click that subscribe button and join the family. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in once again. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the most requested video, which is Toke Makinwa Perfumes. If you're following me on Instagram, you probably have a snippet of what I think about these fragrances. If you're not following me on Instagram, I don't know what you're doing. Follow me on Instagram because I spill some tea over there. So if you are just confused, you don't know what we are talking about, and you don't know Toke Makinwa, let's just assume that not everybody knows Toke Makinwa. Toke Makinwa is one of my favorite celebrities. She's an entertainer, she's an actor, she's a fashion icon, she's a business icon. She's all round a sweetheart and I absolutely love her. She's one of the few female celebrities that inspire me, and I love the fact that she loves fragrances.
Perfume is a huge part of the Toke Makinwa brand. And sometimes we always care about our outward appearance alone, your hair, your phone, your this, but there are little things that you need to add to your life to add some spice. Now those little things are actually the essence of who you are. And I think that how you smell, can you guys smell that? You guys can smell it. How you smell is a huge part of how people address you. Now for me, I've been on a scent journey for years. I've always been a perfume freak. Everyone who knows me, at some point my friends had this intervention for me where they all came together to say, Toke, let's be the first to tell you, you don't smell. You need to stop buying perfumes. Now, I know some girls are always like, I can never use my money to buy perfume. I think that's like a broke mentality speaking. You get to a certain level in life where you don't have to wait to receive certain things as gifts. Look at my perfume gallery, guys. I literally had to build a gallery for my perfumes because they are my life. They're part of me.
When Toke Makinwa came out with her fragrance collection, it got a lot of people talking because she brought a lot of heavy hitters like Bodycia, Tom Ford. You will not see any cheap perfume in Toke Makinwa's stash. She was mostly known for her Bodycia collection, which she had a lot, and she had mentioned that she was obsessed with Bodycia fragrances. A lot of people were anticipating Toke Makinwa coming out with her own fragrances, and finally in 2024 she came out with her own fragrances. Not just one, not just two, but three fragrances, which I'm going to be talking about on this episode. So she came out with Intense, which is the black one, Dive, which is the white one, and Vogue, which is the red one. I've seen a lot of slander on these fragrances. I don't know why Toke Makinwa is always dragged for every little thing she does. And the annoying thing is that she's dragged by mostly women. Whatever happened to women supporting women? Anyway, we're not here about that. We're here about Toke Makinwa fragrances and what I think about it, because I have a lot to say about these fragrances and to address you guys' concerns. I'm just going to talk about them randomly and tell you guys my ranking at the end of this video. So if you want to know my thoughts on these three fragrances, then keep watching. So now let's start with the white one, which is Dive. I got this in a 10 ml and this is what the packaging for the 10 ml looks. It comes with the Toke Makinwa logo. She also has her brand Toke Makinwa Beauty, where she sells bags as well. So this logo is not new. And also the name written here, Dive Toke Makinwa, is written here Eau de Parfum. 10 ml 3.4 fluid ounce. By the side here you have the ingredients, and behind here she writes something which says classy, ostentatious, sophisticated. So this is her way of describing what Vibe smells like. I really love this packaging. It's really cute. They come in very handy. You can just throw it into your bag and refresh if you want. So I particularly love the bottles of this 10 ml because they come in a frosted bottle. A simple white transparent frosted bottle with the gold cap. So the top notes of Dive are pink pepper, blackcurrant, and grapefruit. The middle notes are rose, jasmine, asparagus, and pineapple. And then the base notes are cedar, vanilla, amber, and patchouli. This fragrance opens with fresh pink grapefruit. This fragrance to me smells like fresh guavas, like fresh, ripe guavas. You know those guavas that are green on the outside, but when you bite in, you see how pinkish they are, even though guavas is not listed in this fragrance. So it's like this fresh pink fruity scent. And then the black currant mixes in. Do you know how I know the smell of black currant in this fragrance? It's because it reminds me of siamani. I know siamani has this dominant black currant in it, and that's exactly what I get here. It reminds me of the black currant in siamani. It now starts to settle into that rose. Rose is listed in the mid, but this fragrance gives me like pink rose petals. You know, when you go for your honeymoon or for a vacation and they prepare a water bath for you and sprinkle some roses, just imagine like that soapy water bath with a sprinkle of pink rose petals on it. That's the mid of this fragrance. There's jasmine in this fragrance that gives it this soft florals. I don't get much of pineapples. Maybe it's completely blended into this fragrance. But what I get most in this fragrance is that fresh pink ripe guavas, the black currant, very dominant, the fresh watery rose petals, and the jasmine that gives it this softness. I also get a little bit of creaminess in the core dry down. It has vanilla in the base, gives it like this very soft, creamy silkiness. I would describe this fragrance as a fresh fruity fragrance for the girly girls. From the color of the bottle, you probably imagined what this fragrance smells like, to be like this clean, fresh fragrance. And I will tell you, this fragrance delivered that and even more. So it's giving me fresh, fruity florals, specifically for my girly girls. Also, performance on this as a fresh, fruity floral, it is not bad at all. It gives me moderate projection with minimum of 6 hours longevity. Every single time I have this on, I have gotten compliments. It just makes you feel very pretty. I think this was the first one I smelled and I was pleasantly surprised. So that is Dive from Toke Makinwa. Now let's go to the next one, which is Vogue. Vogue comes in a red bottle, red packaging. The theme is red and gold. And you guys know I love me red. Like, I'm already putting on red lips and all. So I love, love, love red. It's the same concept with the other packaging. But what she wrote on this one is bold, elegant, and beautiful, which describes it perfectly. And the bottle is the same as the other one, frosted bottle. The only difference is the name here, Vogue by Toke Makinwa. It's also a 10 ml. They have the bigger sizes, which I think is in 100 ml. I'll show you a picture of what the bottles look like. This is how it sprays. So this is an extrait de parfum. Now this one is described as a blend of amber, woods, saffron with a floral, light as air sweetness, jasmine blossom, and musk. Now this one, which is described as an extrait de parfum, lives up to the hype. So when you spray it, it has that oil finishing at the dry down. Now this one opens with musk. It opens with musk and sweetness, like this silky, sweet fruitiness. This is seductive. The opening of this fragrance almost wants to remind me of Ebapura, but Ebapura is heavier on the musk, but this one is heavier on the fruitiness. This I would describe as sultry and sweet. Everything in this fragrance blends together to give it this smooth finishing. The fruits in this fragrance kind of reminds me of red berries. It kind of smells like red berry cocktails. It also has this silkiness that gives it this smoothness, probably coming from the jasmine blossom. So it gives it this florals, very silky, very smooth, very soft. But then the red berry fruitiness takes the center stage. This fragrance is described as floral, light as air sweetness. And I think it describes it perfectly because this fragrance comes off kind of airy to me. It has that light florals and it also has sweetness. This fragrance is definitely what I would love my skin to smell like. I think that I would love to smell this on my skin more. I want it to soak deep into my skin and mix with my skin chemistry to create this very sexy, sultry skin scent. To me, I see this fragrance as more of an intimate scent, even though it has a beautiful projection, but I will not say it's loud. People have to come close to you for them to smell it. It's a beautiful, intimate scent. It's very sexy, very sultry. You have to be careful who you wear this fragrance around because it is very, very seductive. So I feel like out of the bunch, this one is supposed to be the seductive one, the sexy one, the date night one. If I smell this fragrance, I think of a sexy feminine woman that is confident about her body. So this is Vogue, lives up to the name to the T. Like Toke Makinwa was very intentional about these fragrances. The first one was supposed to be this pretty, fun, girly girl, like your everyday scent, while this one was supposed to be like a nighttime sexy date night scent, and it lived up to the name. Longevity on this gives me like 4 hours with that close scent bubble projection, but I love to throw this in my bag to refresh if I need to. So that is Vogue, your sexy seductive date night scent for that confident woman. Now, the last one I'll be talking about is Intense, the black one, same packaging with the other one, but what she wrote at the back, bold, seductive, and powerful, describes it perfectly. This one too is an extra de parfum also, just like the red one. Same frosted bottle, same details. That is how it sprays. Now, the top notes of Intense are elegant florals and cinnamon. The middle notes are black currant, cloves, and raspberry. Base notes are patchouli, frankincense, and sandalwood. I love the opening of this fragrance. The opening of this fragrance to me was love at first sniff because it starts up like dried fruits, more specifically dried oranges. So it gives you this very dry fruitiness with some bitterness. You know, oranges have this bitterness to it. It gives you that dried, fruity, bitter scent. I wish the top of this fragrance could remain forever, but it now starts to settle into this powdery oud. Now, this is the one that describes Toke Makinwa perfectly. We know Toke Makinwa to have those rich, strong with oud, and this fragrance is in that realm, added with that spiciness from the cloves. So this fragrance is spicy, it's woody, it's powdery, and then it settles into this sweet, powdery, airy oud that reminds me of Halfeti by Penhaligon or Oud Mood by MFK. Those two fragrances, if you know, smell very similar. So the dry down of this fragrance reminds me of that fragrance. It's giving me sexy, niche, powerful oud fragrance. Not giving me like skanky animalic oud. You guys know I'm not an oud lover. There are just few oud fragrances that I love, and Halfeti is one of them. So if you're an oud girl, if you love Halfeti by Penhaligon or Oud Mood by MFK, I feel like you would love Intense. I love the fact that she was intentional about all her fragrances, from the name to the colors. So Intense is giving intense, like it's giving you punch. If you need that one with the kick, with the punch, this is the one for you. It's very bold, it's very classy. It's like the kind of fragrance that you wear for important meetings, like those statement fragrances. If you want those kind of fragrances that will go into the room before you, Intense is your go-to. So you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that this one has beast mode projection and lasts all day. So that's Intense by Toke Makinwa. Now, before I rank them from my least favorite to my most favorite, let me address the comments and the dragging that have been seen on these fragrances. I think the reason why a lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about this fragrance was, at first, there were no samples and the prices of the fragrances were quite high, almost 200k. I understand that fragrances have now increased now and doubled. Maybe the ingredients she got are more expensive and all that. You guys need to consider these things, or just probably the brand name. Obviously, everybody puts a price tag on their brand name, so what they are offering doesn't come off as cheap. Obviously, we know Toke Makinwa to be a luxurious babe, so she would definitely come up with a luxurious price, you know. So I think that's part of the reason why people were dragging. First of all, no samples. Second, price were to the roof. And then the other parts where people just outrightly like dragging Toke Makinwa for just no reason. When I smelled these fragrances, I was like, why were these people dragging this lady? Because to me, these fragrances are not as bad. I felt like the reason why they were dragging her was because the fragrances smell cheap. And to be honest, these fragrances don't smell cheap. Let's be real. These fragrances don't smell cheap at all. It's possible that people were just naturally hating. But anyway, these are my thoughts on these fragrances. I would not say these fragrances are groundbreaking. They live up to their names. She did fragrances for every occasion. So if you need that fun, flirty, girly girl fragrance, Dive is perfect for you. If you need that sexy, sensual, sultry, seductive perfume, Vogue is for you. And if you need that intense statement making perfume, Intense is for you. And for the fact that this is her first release, I would give it to her. The fragrances are not groundbreaking, but they actually smell nice. So we would give it to her and expect more from her in her new releases. So now let's get into my ranking on these perfumes. Number 3 on this list, I'm sure if you're an OG, you probably know, is Intense. This is a beautiful scent. It is number 3 on my list, not because it's a bad scent, but because wood would never be my first choice. Like, I love some fragrances that have wood in it, like Halfeti, which this fragrance smells similar to, but wood would never be my first choice in a fragrance. So that's why this is number 3 on this list. But if you're an oud lover, I'm sure you're going to love this. Now, number 2 on this list is Vogue. And I'm sure you guys are surprised because almost everybody loves Vogue. This is everybody's favorite at this point. The reason why this is number 2 on my list is because I feel like this fragrance smells familiar. A lot of people said this fragrance smelled like Baccarat Rouge 540 when it was released. I'm here to tell you that this fragrance does not smell like Baccarat Rouge 540 at all. But it has its familiar scent. And also the reason why I made it to my number 2 is because it's an intimate scent. It's not like a loud projecting scent and it doesn't really last long to me. So that's number 2, Vogue from Toke Makinwa. Now, standing ovation for my number 1. My number 1 is Dive. This fragrance was love at first sniff. This was the first fragrance I smelled from the bunch. And when I smelled, I was like, why are people bashing these fragrances? Like, they smell really nice. And I really love this from all of them because it's like, it just makes me happy. It's like that happy scent that is very girly, very bubbly, just very pretty, like the pretty girl scent, very soft. And I'll definitely get a big bottle of this. I might get a big bottle of this and Vogue. Oh, thinking about it, those two would pair beautifully together. Yeah. I just created a combo. I think I would wear Vogue on my skin and top up with this on my clothes. So it would layer perfectly together. But this is number 1 on my list because it's a gorgeous scent. I really, really love this. A little secret, the sales rep mentioned that Toke Makinwa said this is her favorite. So she mentioned that Dive is her favorite, and I was surprised because I was expecting Intense to be her favorite. But she mentioned that this is her favorite. Yeah, it tells a lot. We just like the finer things in life. So this is my favorite, Dive from Toke Makinwa. So that's my thoughts on the Toke Makinwa fragrances, Dive, Vogue, and Intense. Let me know in the comment section which one you are vibing to. Which one do you think you would gravitate towards out of these 3? Have you tried any of these fragrances? Let me know your thoughts on them. Let me know which one is your favorite from the bunch. What do you think about these fragrances? What do you think about Toke Makinwa? Let's connect in the comment section. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of this episode. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't, drop your sense of the day in the comment section. I would love to connect with you in the comment section. Thank you guys for tuning into Bella's Perfume Diaries. I'll be seeing you on my next episode. Bye.